appreciate you coming out on such a cold, cold day. I'm Micah Parkin with 350 Colorado, and we're here today because our Bureau of Land Management has once again held an auction to auction off our public lands to fossil fuel companies to develop for fracking. We're extremely upset about the fact that they have also moved the auctions online to try and prevent public participation and public scrutiny. Not only have they moved the auctions online, but we are also now hearing that they have proposed a new rule to criminalize anyone protesting. Criminalize people for their First Amendment rights of free speech and free assembly. This is wrong. This is the wrong way to be headed in our country, and we're very upset about the collusion between our government and the fossil fuel industry. Our government, taxpayer-funded, should be protecting the people's best interests, not corporate profits. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing here, is that our Bureau of Land Management is working really hard to protect the profits of the fossil fuel lease program rather than the health and safety of our air, our water, our climate. And so that's why we're here today, to say no more. This is wrong. From Standing Rock to the east, to the west coast, to the Gulf Coast, people are standing up against this kind of collusion between our government and the fossil fuel industry. Our government is not an arm of the fossil fuel industry, and yet it seems to be becoming more and more so. So we're here today to protest the auctioning off of our public lands, the attempts to undermine our democracy, and to say that also at this point in history, when reports from Oil Change International have said we can bring online no new fossil fuels and stay below 2 degrees Celsius temperature rise, which is what our country and other countries around the world agreed to at the climate talks in Paris last December. To stay below 2 degrees, we can burn no new fossil fuels. So why is our federal government auctioning off public lands for new fossil fuel leases at the same time as we're committing to stay below 2 degrees? That's talking out of both sides of their mouth. It's wrong at this point in history. And so just want to thank you all again for being out here today to say no more. It's time for the federal fossil fuel leasing program to end. Thank you all so much. Andre Guajardo Conejos clean water energy dependent upon fossil fuels and nuclear-based fuels is a fallacy. Our government in this continental United States needs to stop utilizing taxpayer dollars to subsidize extractive industries on our public lands.
Reverend Peter Sawtell, an ordained minister of the United Church of Christ and the executive director of Eco-Justice Ministries. From my work with churches around environmental issues, I'd like to put a little bit of historical context on the sort of protest we're making today. There's a great hymn of the Christian church that was written in 1844 that has lines in it that say, "Once to every human nation comes the moment to decide in the strife of truth with falsehood for the good or evil side. New occasions teach new duties, time makes ancient good uncouth." That was written about the abolitionist movement in the 1840s, saying the time had made what was considered normal and acceptable to now be uncouth. And the abolitionists stood up against what everybody thought was an essential part of the economy to say that this was unjust and immoral. They were thought to be crazy at the time, and now we look back and say that they were the great moral heroes. Today, we see the leasing of fossil fuels, the burning of more fossil fuels, as one of those unjust things where time has made ancient good uncouth. We're here with the spirit of the abolitionists to continue raising this call, to raise our moral voices, and to keep demanding that our government do the right thing.